television sets, video game consoles, smartphones, tablets. They're all recyclable. Don't let them clog up your local landfill. Just visit greenergadgets.org. You're sharp enough to get the latest tech tools into your home. Now be responsible enough to get your old devices to the recycler. That's greenergadgets.org.
Sports talk lives here. Powered by Pepsi. WGSX in Haven, Panama City. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
There's no need to fear.
The Underdogs are here. The Afternoon Underdogs are on the air.
What time is it?
Live from the Slim Chicken Studio.
Let's do it.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Northwest Florida, what's going on? You are listening to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, and we are live here in the Slim Chicken Studio. A couple ways you can listen to us right here in Panama City, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Here in Panama City, we're also with our broadcast partner in Pensacola area, blabtv.com. You can find us on Facebook, ESPN Northwest Florida. Do me a favor and share that out to the world, to your friends, and to your family. And we're also on YouTube, so that's another great place, and you can get onto your chats as well there. We've got a great show ahead of you today. We've got Max Delighten coming in with Slim Chickens. We'll be talking about ribs and rides, what's going on with Slim Chickens and the Rib Crib, as well as what's going on with the Chicago Bears. Justin Fields, 1 yard passing, essentially, when you take away all of the sacks that came along with that. More sacks than incompletions. Man, talking about quarterbacks, how about Brad Law? What's he got to say today about the quarterback situation going on in Auburn? A lot of stuff to cover, a lot of stuff to get to. Norvell, how is that working out? Is he pissed? Is he not? We will find out here soon.
Yes,
but
we will find out soon.
We will. We've got.
And by the way, Max did text me earlier and said he really doesn't want to talk about Chicago.
Oh, well, he always, I think there's always there's a couple of topics that I put in there every time. And he's like, man, did we really have to go about talking about that today? And I'm like, yeah, man, it is what it is. You know, it's sports. We got to bring up the good along with the bad. But we've got a lot of great things happening here, and one of the great things is for you to listen to win to get yourself some cash, and you just got to listen for the code word 8:45 in the morning, 12:45 in the afternoon, and coming up here shortly 4:45 p.m. You just take that code word that they give you, you go to the website espnpc.com, or a great way to do it is go to the ESPN Northwest Florida app, enter the code there. That's your chance to win.
Have you looked at it on the app?
$1,000 cash.
Have you looked at it on the app?
And I have not seen it on the app.
As soon as you open it up, I mean, it's right there.
It's right there. You can't miss it.
Right on the screen. You just press on it.
Even I couldn't miss it.
Well,
how about that?
That's saying a lot. If old school doesn't miss something, especially in the technology world, that is a big, big deal. We've got some prizes today for trivia. We're giving away $25 to Blue Sky Express Car Wash and $25 to Barbaritos. But old school, tell me a little bit about what entails there with that $25 to Blue Sky Express Car Wash.
Oh, it's just the best car wash on the beach, period. And it is the premium car wash. It is
the top of the line.
Top of the line. This is not your run it through there for $3 kind of thing. This is
and milky water runs off the side of your car.
The ceramic spray on it. I mean, your car comes out of it, looks like you just put a $100 wax job on it.
Did you get a new car, or did you just happen to take yours through there?
I just ran mine through there.
Okay, gotcha.
The green machine is looking good, boys.
Boy, you're not kidding.
You changed the name already? It's not the Green Goose anymore?
It's the Green Goose. But I just, and when it came out looking that good, I thought, man, I can't call it a goose anymore.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. But, hey, we've got a trivia question today. We're going to be giving that out here in a couple of minutes. Actually, how we're going to do it now is you call in, and we'll give you the opportunity to go through the options that we've had in the past. But I've also got one that will not come with any multiple choices. And if you get it wrong, we're going to keep that trivia question up until we get the right answer. Today's question is going to be dealing with the history of the Boston Red Sox. So if you want to win $50, 25 of that to Blue Sky Express Car Wash and 25 to Barbaritos, today is the day. You got to give me a call. What's the number? 850-215-6290. A lot of stuff happening here in the NFL world as well as baseball. I mean, the sports are going off the Richter scale right now. We've got Richard Sherman Sherman, who's going to be working out for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, sources say. Old school, are the rich going to be getting richer here, or is Richard Sherman just a little bit past that prime?
Richard Sherman's been a heck of a defensive back for a long time. He's a shutdown corner.
Right.
He's really more of a zone type guy rather than a one-on-one type guy. But, it's been a few years, and he has lost a step or two.
Yeah.
He certainly is not chopped liver.
Right.
But he's not the top of the line that he used to be. And it may be of assistance to Tampa Bay, but I certainly hope they don't pay him a whole bunch of money because it's the end of his career. For me, it's almost like a retirement fund for him.
Yeah.
It's a quick way.
Really good way to put
Keyword here, workout.
Workout.
Yeah.
It's purely a workout at this point. And if he looks good, then maybe they'll offer him up a contract. But I'm sure it will not be a massive one.
Well, after watching that game with the Rams, the secondary needs some work, especially after the injury to Murphy Bunting in week 1 of the season. But real quick, we've got a caller for trivia.
Excellent.
Richard, you're on the air. What's going on, brother?
I'm just driving back from Tallahassee and saw you guys picked up your station and you said trivia. And it's been a little over a month since I won last, so I thought I'd call.
All right, so here's the question. We're doing a little bit different. You can choose from a category if you'd like and get your multiple choice options, or you can play with the big dogs, the big underdogs here, and just go without any options.
So what's the difference in terms of prizes?
If you pick a multiple choice, you only get one prize. If you pick the trivia question of the day, you get the full prize, which today is $25 to Blue Sky Express Car Wash and $25 to Barbaritos.
Heck, let's go for both of them.
All right, let's do it big. Since Ted Williams hit .406 in 1941, only a handful of Red Sox players have come remotely close. Obviously, no major leaguer has hit .400 since Williams. Name the only 2 Red Sox players to hit at least .360 since Williams retired in 1960.
I'm going to say Carl Yastrzemski and Wade Boggs.
Just a little bit short there. Hey, Richard, thank you so much for the call, but you're wrong.
Hey,
Give us a call back tomorrow. We'll have another trivia question on, my friend. All right. Hey, so the lines are still open. If you want to take a crack at that trivia question, give us a call, 850-215-6290. But yeah, we're Richard Sherman, possibly headed to the Bucs. We'll see how that workout goes. The Bucs could definitely use some help there in the secondary. Got a couple other pieces here. DeGrom's being shut down for the rest of the season with his elbow injury. The Lions are going to be releasing linebacker Jamie Collins after not finding suitors for a trade. And also here in the NFL, the Colts and their running back, Marlon Mack, who last year was their starting running back, goes down with the injury, comes back, was inactive last week. And so he goes to them and says, hey, guys, if you're not going to use me, at least put me on a team that is going to try to utilize me. So they're going to be looking for a trade partner for Marlon Mack. And I selfishly could definitely use that because I have him on a fantasy team where I really don't have a lockdown running back right now, so that would be really big for me. You also got the Bears who are going kind of haywire right now. All 3 of the Bears quarterbacks, Nick Foles, Andy Dalton, and Justin Fields, are being considered to start this week against the Lions. They don't know what's going on. Neither do we. Hopefully we'll get some closure as the year rolls on. Brandon Belt, San Francisco Giants first baseman, has a broken thumb. The status is unclear for him right now. That is big news. The Giants are rolling. I believe they have a 2-game lead on the Dodgers right now. They're about to have a series. This is not a guy that you want to be losing at this point in time of the season. So we hope the best for Brandon Belt and the San Francisco Giants. Matt Corral's a slight Heisman Trophy betting favorite over Bryce Young right now ahead of this Ole Miss and Alabama showdown coming this weekend. The odds are looking good for Matt Corral, who's plus 160. Young is sitting there at plus 200. A little funny stuff going on. Tom Brady, ever since he's came to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, has been Twitter gold, if you really want to be honest about it. So Tom Jr. on his dad here, I was looking for a sound bite, couldn't find it. I'd have to go listen to the whole Let's Go podcast, which is where this comes from. He says, I've actually prepared a statement that I wanted to say, and it's really all that I have to say on the subject. Comments made by Thomas Edward Brady, a 77-year-old insurance company CEO who should know better at this point in his life, doesn't necessarily reflect the views or positions held by his son, Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr. So furthermore, should Tom Sr. continue to speak out on behalf of his son without the express written consent, Tom Jr. reserves the right to eventually put him in a home against his will. That is gold, man.
When did Tom Brady get such a good personality?
When he left and got away from
When he got away
Belichick.
from Belichick, got out from underneath the
He
iron.
sure did.
When he got out from underneath the iron thumb of Bill Belichick, the guy is just funny. He's creative.
Yep.
He just seems to be having so much fun these days. I mean, it's just so weird. I mean, we've always heard the old adage that, that a change of scenery is great for you. And boy, is that not true for Tom Brady?
It is absolutely true. He's a completely different person now that he's away from Belichick, because he didn't say a whole lot at all when he was there. He almost mimicked Belichick's personality.
I mean, he always did his press conferences, that he was required to, and he would be.
Yeah, but they were generic.
But they were very generic. Every once in a while, you'd get a little hint of it. But now that he's out from underneath that, it's like, man, his personality's coming out. He's fun.
Yep.
He's not afraid to shoot from the hip, and it's just it's like a whole new guy.
It could be that Florida lifestyle he's living too.
It is,
you know?
There's a lot to be said about coming to Florida.
Yep.
He's a Florida boy right now. You're listening to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. The number to call here is 850-215-6290. Still looking for a winner for our trivia prizes. Blue Sky Express Car Wash, you get 25, as well as 25 to Barbaritos. All right, Florida State football coach Mike Norvell went on a rant to defend his 0-4 program, and this is the worst start since 1974 for the Florida State Seminoles. Let's hear what Coach Norvell had to say.
They watch, not to cut you off, but they watch the games too. They see the opportunities. They see the opportunity for themselves. They see the opportunity of and they have a belief in who they are. And that's what I want to be around. I want to be around guys that, and it's easy to look at a reason why to go in maybe an easier route of something that is established. I mean, there's been a lot of change around this program over the last few years, and that affects all. That affects everything. It affects recruiting. It affects, the guys that have to come to work every single day. When there's change in the standard of operations, when there's change in how you do things, when there's change in what you're looking for, the priorities of the individuals. Well, when those guys, when you lay out the vision of what you want, you live it out every day. And the best recruiters we have on here are the players, because they're the ones that get to talk about what it is day in and day out. How our coaches care about the players, how our coaches invest, the focus on teaching fundamentals, the focus on putting playmakers in an opportunity to make plays. But we've got to go out there and we've got to do a better job in every one of those areas. But I'm looking for guys that want to be a part of that process too. The guys that want to be successful, guys that want to be challenged, guys that are willing to step up and step out and go do something that, they're going to have to defend. Well, why there? Because it's the best dang fit for them. It's an opportunity where they're going to go get pushed, they're going to get developed, they're going to have an opportunity to play at one of the greatest places in the country, right? With a wonderful fan base that cares. Right? I mean, look, I'm pissed off that we're 0-4. Right? And we can bring up how many years it's been. I don't really I can't control that. I can control this team at this moment and right now with the opportunity. And so we're going to work our butts off to go get better.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
It does kind of remind you slightly
It does,
of that, doesn't it?
But here's the thing: he's kept quiet. The entire. He's not said much at all. But that there tells me he is fired up, and he is letting people know. Look, man, we've got some problems. We are addressing them. It doesn't matter. We're 0-4. We're moving forward, and we're trying to get better and help our team. But that is the most fired up I've heard him since he's been at Florida State.
You got any on that, old school?
I mean, the last time I heard him that fired up and he's banging the table with his finger is when he was introduced as the head coach.
Yeah.
That energy level that he brought to this press conference, he was intense. He was trying to get a point across, and he knows that it's not what his fan base wants. He knows that the alumni, the boosters, they're all expecting a lot from him. And he's saying, hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to keep trying to get better. All we can do is try to get better. We can't change what's happened. The 4 games are the 4 games, and we can't change it. All we can do is go out there and commit to getting better. And that's all you can ask from a coach.
Yeah.
Very
all you can
similar,
ask.
very similar to the press conference that we played with Brian Harsin
Absolutely.
yesterday. Get better day by day. That's all you can do. Hopefully these recruits do stay with Florida State, but they've got a long road ahead of them. When you look at that schedule, looks like the only win that you can say for positive right now would be their game against UMass right now. So that's going to be tough. They got some things to turn around. Man, we've got a lot of things coming your way soon, but one of them is going to be huge. Tonight, right after the afternoon underdogs, the Braves and the Phillies get it started. Morton on the mound for the Atlanta Braves, and possibly, I think old school, you and I would agree on this, the biggest series of the year. You're up 1.5 games on the Phillies.
No doubt. We got Zach Wheeler going for the Phillies. He's a Cy Young candidate. And we got Morton going for us. So this is a great matchup, pitching matchup. It's going to be a challenge for the Braves. They're at home. This is what they've played the rest of their season for, is an opportunity to close it out at home. And it's time to put their big boy pants on, go out there and face a local boy. Zach Wheeler's from Dallas, Georgia. I mean, right down the road. And he's going to be in his hometown pitching against his hometown team. Mm-hmm. And the Braves better have their big boy pants on because they're facing a big boy tonight.
You're absolutely right.
That's what you should be listening to tonight. And also go ahead and get that ESPN Northwest Florida app. Going to take a quick timeout. Once we get back, Max Delyden in the studio with us right here in the Slim Chicken studio.
Max looks a little older.
My weather forecast overnight, clouds are lower and thicken. Overnight temperature is 65 to 72 and light variable winds. We'll have a south wind developing Wednesday, about 10-12 miles per hour. It'll be in the mid-80s, partly to mostly sunny Wednesday, and the water temperature in the Gulf of Mexico is 82. A weak system coming in Thursday, maybe a shower or stray thunderstorm, partly sunny in the mid to upper 80s. For 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, this is meteorologist Tim Root.
ESPN Northwest Florida. War Eagle.
From the shotgun, Nix takes the snap. Two-step drop, throws to the end zone. Robertson's got it. Touchdown, Auburn.
Tune in Saturday night as Auburn football opens SEC play in Baton Rouge with kickoff at 8 Central on your home for Auburn football.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
Have you ever thought about flying an airplane? It's not as difficult as you may think. Simply call Island Air Express. They are a family-oriented flight school who cares about the student pilot progression and more of a one-on-one flight training school. Island Air Express can help you celebrate your birthday by taking you on a birthday flight. Let Island Air Express show you the world from a different view by taking you and your family across beautiful Panama City Beach. Call Island Air Express at 850-814-6407 or visit their website at islandairexpress.com.
Small business owners of Bay County, are you aware of the recent changes in the credit card industry that could affect how much you pay for credit card processing? With over 30 years experience right here in Bay County, Merchant Management Group is ready to help your business take advantage of these changes and in some cases eliminate all fees for accepting credit card. Other businesses have already made the change. Call Merchant Management Group today to schedule a no obligation appointment. 850-747-0664.
Live from the Slim Chicken Studio. Hot takes, the latest trades, in-depth interviews.
That is my reaction.
We break it down for you right here.
Very big springboard for the rest of my career.
The Afternoon Underdogs.
That's the problem right there.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
All right, welcome back into the Slim Chicken studio. We've got a man, a myth, a legend from Slim Chicken Studio, or from Slim Chickens, and Rib Crib. But first, man, Auburn football right here on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, starting at 7 p.m. You're going to be getting the pregame, 8 o'clock kickoff, Auburn LSU, big-time game in Death Valley. Cannot wait for that. 850-215-6290 is the number to call. Go ahead and give us a shout today. Max, what's going on, my friend?
David, great to have you back here, too.
Hey, no doubt about it, man. We've got some stuff that I know you don't necessarily want to dig into. So before we get into that, where do people go to get the best chicken and the best barbecue here in Northwest Florida? Oh, you want to answer?
I know. Rib Crib.
Hey, you're absolutely
I'm telling you
right.
what. I tell you what. I went in there the other night to pick up a DoorDash order.
Yeah.
I almost couldn't leave. It smelled wonderful, and I'm like, oh man, I'm just gonna.
It really does.
These guys are gonna have to wait because I'm just gonna sit down and eat.
All right. Hey, so
I appreciate that's a ringing endorsement right there.
That's who the employees were talking about when they said some old guy's up here, we can't get him out of here.
He's asking for a sandwich named after him. What in the world's going on here? Hey, so you're still feeling pretty confident about the statement that you made a while back on the Cy Young contender and Robbie Ray. What else you got?
I had to backtrack. Ribs and Rides, October 21st. Should be good. Shouldn't get rained out this time around, knock on wood. And then October 30th, Trunks and Treats, trunk or treat, I guess. So cars are going to be there, and they're going to open their back trunk and have candy in it, and there'll be like mazes too and everything.
Oh, cool.
That's the place
it should be
to
a little
go.
fun hangout.
That's the place to go.
Anyway,
and that's the day before Halloween, so you can double dip for your kids right there. I mean, that's a way to get you a bag of candy.
Be a favorite parent. There you go.
Hey, so you're still feeling confident in your guy Robbie Ray, though.
Oh yeah, I mean, man, I wish DraftKings was legal down here. Robbie Ray was 10-1 and Bryce Harper was 8-1, and those were my guys. But
the move that Bryce Harper has made
huge
in the last little bit. I mean, he went from before the All-Star break, really wasn't even on the radar as far as MVP talk goes.
No doubt.
And now he's almost, in a sense. I mean, you got Juan Soto in there, but do the Riders go with a Juan Soto who his team is not anywhere near contention compared to a Bryce Harper?
I think they'll stick with Bryce Harper. Juan Soto's putting up some ridiculous numbers in the second half of the season, but I think he wasn't healthy for a little bit too, and that hurt him. And then what Bryce Harper's doing, he's the only reason the Phillies are still kind of in the hunt, I guess I would say. That offense.
We did say a game and a half. They're actually two and a half games ahead of the Phillies right now. You're absolutely right, though, Max. He might not make it to the playoffs, but guess what? He's in the series right now that they can turn the tide all the way around. I don't know exactly who it is that the Phillies end the season with. It's either going to be the Nationals or the Marlins because the Braves have the Phillies.
The Braves have the
Mets.
That's
who we're going to finish the season out with. So we've got a lot of, as Jeff Passan puts it, hopefully a lot of chaotic baseball about to happen in the next couple of days. And looking at the AL East right now.
Oh, my gosh. I really want that Jays team to make it just because they're such a fun lineup top to bottom. And I think Robbie Ray's really flown under the radar. I think he will win the Cy Young, but with not a lot of notoriety. Right now, I actually saw, too, he has the highest K9 out of any eligible pitcher in baseball history right now, 11.2. What he's doing, pitching in for the most of the season, he was pitching in kind of popcorn boxes, as we talked in the past about. And he's got a 2.6 ERA. His whip is 1. And I think almost every time he goes out there, the Jays win. And I think he's really carried them. Been a veteran presence.
We went from giving people DeGrominating numbers to DeGrom being shut down for the season, and now we're sitting here talking about Robbie Ray in the National League side of things. Scherzer or Corbin Burns?
I would give it to Scherzer, I think.
I think with the...
Has anybody that's been traded at the deadline ever won?
That's a good question.
The Cy Young? I mean, that I don't know. I'm not familiar with it. If anybody, Scherzer was traded at the deadline to the Dodgers, so I don't know that that's ever occurred before. But I mean, Scherzer.
I wouldn't think that's happened before.
I can't imagine it happening.
Yeah,
but I mean, Scherzer has just been so dominant as a Dodger. I mean, he was good for the Nationals, but when he got to put on those Dodger blues, it was like, whoo.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's got to be their guy they go with for the wild card, right? No question.
No question that he'll be. I mean, I'd put him out there before Buehler. I mean, Buehler's fantastic, but
the veteran.
You got to put the veteran with all that experience, and he's pitched in the World Series. I mean, Scherzer is He's unbelievable.
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree.
even if somebody walked out there and punched him in the nose and broke his nose, he'd still go out there and pitch.
And he did that.
And he's done that.
He's done that. The Phillies are going to be finishing their season out with the Marlins, which is kind of best case scenario for them, in my opinion. So,
well, the Marlins have handled the Phillies pretty good this year. So, for Braves fans, it's not as bad as if they were going to play the Orioles or somebody like that.
And I think the Braves, everyone gives them a pretty tough time, but they deserve a little more credit. Losing Soroka a year ago and then having that setback, he was becoming one of the better young pitchers, I think, in baseball. And then Acuna, obviously, is one of the most electric players. That was the heart of their lineup. And they made some good deadline acquisitions. I mean,
under the radar moves that ended up putting them above the radar. I mean, we didn't even touch 500 this year until basically after the trade deadline, So in Jorge Soler power right now, the things that he's doing, dude. I mean, because I remember when that trade happened on the trade deadline, and I messaged Sam Peebles, and I was like, what do you think about this move? I mean, he's not that huge of a name, but the season that he's had to this point, be it in the American League, has looked really good. And he was like, I'm scratching my head about it, but it looks like it could be a move with a lot of good potential.
Yeah, I remember the conversation that we had with Sam, and he was talking about how Soler had been hot for the previous month.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, this is going to be a great move if he can maintain where he's been for the last month. And he has not only maintained it, I think he's exceeded it.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, he has really been Mr. Clutch. He and Duvall. I mean, you think about the two guys that have been the two guys that have been the most clutch, throw in Austin Riley.
Yeah.
But those two guys, both of them were acquired at the trade deadline. And that's pretty good for a GM.
And Austin Riley's been awesome too. I got to eat crow on that. I thought he was kind of a bust, and he's been awesome. I think he changed his swing a little bit, just how he I don't know, his launch angle. I don't know that much about that stuff, but it seems like he changed it a little bit where he's not completely whiffing.
Yeah.
And he completely raised his on base percentage and became more of a not the same player, but more of a Chris Bryant swing, I think. And
he's also his recognition of the slider, recognition of the pitch, the zone, the strike zone has gotten so much better this year. I mean, last year they were striking him out with sliders. He's like Dansby. You throw him a slider, he's gonna try to swing at it. Yeah. But he has really improved, not only offensively, but he's also played a really solid hot box over there at third.
I agree.
Well, on the subject of the NL Cy Young, Ross Robinson says, what did Scherzer do the first 3 quarters of the season? Burns has been stellar all season. So when talking about it from that perspective, I mean, throughout the course of the season, Corbin Burns has been consistent all year long. And with Scherzer, I mean, he got put onto a lottery ticket type of a team. You know what I mean? It really helps when you got that offense backing you up.
He wasn't bad for the Nationals.
No, not at all. The Nationals were just bad.
The Nationals were just bad.
All right, so moving on from the NL Cy Young, your dad actually had a really good comment. He says both of their ERAs and Ks are similar, so it's basically a toss-up for him, and their whips are absolutely silly good. So moving on from that, though, and I know we just answer quickly. Justin Fields, what do you make of that first start and the lack of protection that he got from that Bears offensive line?
Man, I really can't fault him. There was nothing he could have done that I don't think many quarterbacks could have done anything there. I kind of fault Matt Nagy. I'm not a football X's and O's expert by any means, but I mean, I could watch the game and tell you had to move the pocket for him. I mean, they didn't adjust the game plan for him at all. It's like the same game plan it looked like they would have ran with Dalton or Foles, and Justin Fields is a mobile player, and we didn't do anything to help him there. He was running for his life from Myles Garrett, and
more sacks than completions.
Yeah, and I don't blame him though. I think that's the play calling still.
I agree with you. I put all of the blame essentially on Nagy. I mean,
man.
How do you really expect a rookie quarterback to come in against a defensive line like the Browns do, and you don't come up with a good enough scheme to protect your guy? And if you take those sacks and you subtract the yardage that he lost away from his passing yards, he threw for 1 yard in that game.
Yeah, and Nagy doesn't do himself any favors in his press conferences. He's kind of comes off as arrogant, like I know more than you. Which is funny.
He does.
Yeah, but in a fun stat I saw is the Bears offense had 47 yards and Justin Tucker's field goal was 66 yards.
66, dude. What about that daggum field goal?
That was awesome. But also back to Nagy. he always is like, we got to find the why, and it's like the why is you, man. Like
the why is you. And we picked up Andy Dalton to mentor a guy who's actually got legs. I mean, at this point, wouldn't you kind of rather see a guy who at least used to be mobile? Well, I guess Andy Dalton had some tendencies to be mobile, especially at TCU, a little bit at Cincinnati.
Yeah, and then last year he was bragging about how he got our GM to acquire Nick Foles. Like, nice job, man. That worked. Like,
that worked out great. Nick Foles is nothing without Carson Wentz getting injured in front of him. That's how you activate the Nick Foles that you want to see. All right, well, we're running out of time here, Max. Thank you so much for stopping by with us today. One more time, Ribs and Rides. When is that going to be?
Yeah, Ribs and Rides the 21st and Trunk or Treat the 30th. Should be a good community event out in Callaway, Panama City. Bring everyone.
All right, can't wait for it, man. Hey, the Coach James Hale Show is going to be live with you tomorrow at 7 a.m. Give us a holler, 850-215-6290.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Rising back towards the wall, and this one is gone.
Tonight, Truist Park comes alive for the final homestand of the season as the Braves take on NL East rivals, the Philadelphia Phillies.
Sponsored locally by Hydraulic Solutions, Mid-South Lumber, Store-More Portable Buildings, Billbird Kia, LS Agency Insurance, Reliable Copy Products, and 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
You wake up late, rush through your shower, run out to the car, and the garage door won't open. Oh! Don't let this be you. Get your garage door service today. At All About Garage Doors, we offer 24/7 service at no extra charge. Call us today for our single torsion spring replacement for $199 or our double torsion spring replacement for $299, both with a 2-year parts and labor warranty. Call All About Garage Doors, 850-842-9188. Veteran owned and operated.
Home of the official 68-degree chill. None other than the official Vortex Spring. The hottest summer days can't stand up to the everyday, can't change it. Constant 68 degrees of gin clear water. Every single day at Vortex Spring in Ponce de Leon. Come for a day or come for a weekend. Camping, nature trails, diving, swimming, snorkeling, something for the whole family. Discount for first responders, active duty, and retired military. Online at vortexspring.com.
Have you ever thought about flying an airplane? It's not as difficult as you may think. Simply call Island Air Express. They are a family-oriented flight school who cares about the student pilot progression and more of a one-on-one flight training school. Island Air Express can help you celebrate your birthday by taking you on a birthday flight. Let Island Air Express show you the world from a different view by taking you and your family across beautiful Panama City Beach. Call Island Air Express at 850-814-6407 or visit their website at islandairexpress.com.
As a proud graduate of Auburn University, Waylon Thompson is excited to sponsor Auburn football this season. Jay Manuel of Manuel & Thompson hopes that players and fans alike remain injury-free. But if you find yourself injured through no fault of your own, call us at Manuel & Thompson. Helping injured people, that's what they do. Manuel & Thompson, 850-785-5555. Manuel & Thompson, 850-785-5555.
The mission?
Your mission, should you decide to accept it.
Save the panhandle from boring cookie-cutter radio. Now back to the Afternoon Underdogs. Live in the Slim Chicken studio.
The tape will self-destruct in 5 seconds.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
What's up? You're listening to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, and we are affiliates of the Auburn Tigers, and we give out money here on this station. You can listen and win some cash for yourself. All you got to do is listen for the code word at 8:45 a.m., 12:45 p.m., and coming up here shortly, 4:45 p.m. All you got to do is go to our website, espnpc.com, or the ESPN Northwest Florida app to enter the. All you got to do is enter the code word. That's your chance right there to win $1,000 cash. Now let's bring on the man, Brad Law, who's the Director of Broadcast Operations for Auburn. How's it going, Brad?
It's going great. I'm preparing a little differently this week, everybody, because our illustrious sideline reporter and former NFL great and former Auburn just outstanding running back, Ronnie Brown, he's going to be at a Miami Dolphins reunion weekend. He's not going to be on the sideline this week. And so I'm actually going to be our sideline reporter in Baton Rouge at Tiger Stadium. So, I'm going through game notes and studying a little differently than we do before a regular game. So we're excited about that and hope everybody's having a great afternoon down on the coast.
I am so excited that, Senator Law is going to be able to get some camera time. This is going to be great.
I don't know how many cameras. We're going to try to keep those away, but for the betterment of for everybody's benefit, really. But, we'll have a good time with it.
What's one of the main differences in the preparation, like you were going, that you were talking about in doing the sideline gig as opposed to directing the broadcast operations?
Well, typically as the producer, you're a whole lot more focused on, when do we have TV timeouts and how to sort of steer the conversation between Andy Bertram and Stan White and Ronnie on the sidelines. And you don't have to, it's not as necessary to know all the ins and outs of the X's and O's and the matchups and stats and hometowns and things like that as the game is playing out. But that's the important, those are the things we ask Ronnie to talk about and to watch. And if somebody comes off the field hobbling, go, try to find out why and what the prognosis is. So those are just all the things. It's a little more in-depth sort of red meat football stuff in the prep this week.
Well, Brad, what can Auburn and its fans take away from this really close ball game that you had with Georgia State heading into a tough Death Valley this coming Saturday?
Yeah, I think you sort of I wonder, and the more I cover this, the more I'm around this, I wonder just how much it takes truly from one game to the next. I think we talked last week about the need for total focus on Georgia State, given that you were coming off of a road trip to Penn State and heading into a road trip to LSU. And I think that as much as coaches try to maneuver the focus of their players and shoehorn it into them, that it's critical that your preparation be exactly the same. I think it's normal. I think it's human to look at the schedule and maybe not have your focus where it needs to be. I think you also take away from it that Georgia State is a very good team for their league. They were battle-tested in their first couple of games of the year. They made some changes, offensively especially, to beat Charlotte. And then, you have a team from Atlanta, kids from the Southeast. They're an hour and a half down I-85. And to play against Auburn, this is a program that beat Tennessee 2 years ago in game one of the season. This was as important to those Georgia State players as any conference game or championship game they could possibly play in this year. So I don't know that you take anything away from it. I think you recognize what it was, and, then you move forward to LSU.
Brad, the burning question. Everyone's been talking about it. Do you think it's going to be Bo Nix or TJ Finley headed into this game against LSU?
I'll tell you, I am so glad that I don't have to make that decision. I think that Brian Harsin is not interested in people knowing what that decision is and what they think about not knowing what that decision is. I just don't think that's on the head coach's radar. I know this. I don't think that this is a guy in his first year who is terribly concerned about impressions or perceptions. You know what I mean? I think his sole focus is on winning games. And so I think whoever prepares this week and whoever he thinks has the best chance of leading the team and winning, doing their part to win a game is the guy that you will see. And, my opinion doesn't matter on that. Your opinion doesn't matter on that. And the fans' opinion doesn't really matter on that. I think it will be the head coach's decision.
Well, Brad, talking about changes, the potential changes of a quarterback, but there was one significant change from the fact that, Coach Harsin fired the wide receiver coach, Cornelius Williams, and he's gone now with Eric. How do you say Eric's last name? Kesau?
I believe Kesau.
Kesau.
Yeah.
So, was that something that rocked, the ball club, or was that something that, the players are able to just shake off and go forward?
That's a great question, and I think we start to find that out little by little. I think a lot of college athletes, you're a student athlete in college, you sort of get used to teams. It would be nice to think that when you come to a school, you play for a coach, and you're going to play for that coach who recruited you for all 3 or 4 or 5 years that you're on campus. I think most of these young men experience some kind of change. These are guys who went through a full staff coaching change just 9 months ago. So I think they are adjusted to making adjustments. And it's this way in college athletics. It's this way in life. You can't really control a lot of the stuff that happens to you. You can only control your response to the things that happen to you. And so, we'll see if this change is for the better. I certainly think that, Coach Harsin has a familiarity with Coach Keesaw, and that's the reason that he put him in that position. He wanted to see something different out of the wide receivers than what he saw Saturday and or the weeks before. And again, I don't think he's doing it to save face or to put out an image. I think he's doing it to try to win games. And I think that is the sole reason that he did it.
You're listening to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We're talking to Brad Law with Auburn here on the line with us. Brad, how much of the blame on the quarterbacks or this whole quarterback situation, does the blame need to actually go on to the wide receivers? I mean, you look at Bo Nix's numbers compared to TJ Finley's numbers in that last game against Georgia State, and not a full slate for each, or not a full game for each of those guys, but they weren't that far off. The difference is a 90-something yard drive by TJ Finley to put the exclamation point there on the win for the Tigers. How much of the responsibility needs to fall on the wide receivers?
I think 1/11th needs to fall on each individual receiver that's on the field on any given play. That's what I think. I think 9%. Just like on that final drive, TJ Finley was the quarterback, but you had 5 offensive linemen and you had various receivers and you had running backs. And on the first play of that 98-yard drive, Jarquez Hunter, who only had 10 carries on the day, goes 18 yards and gets some breathing room, and that opens things up. Various receivers make catches critical on 3rd down, and obviously Shed Jackson comes back to the middle of the field, makes the catch on 4th down. If you assign blame, which I never like to do anyway, then you need to assign credit when those 1/11th or when those 11 guys collectively do make plays and go down the field. It's never more than 1/11th. It is never less than 1/11th of the blame or the credit when things happen on that field. And, I get the conversation. I understand why the conversation leans the way it leans. Football is a quarterback game. The quarterbacks get so much of the conversation centers around the quarterback. But, the quarterbacks don't succeed if you've got a bullfighter offensive line where it's just guys, ole, and here they come. Quarterbacks, running backs, receivers do succeed if lines are giving them time. Quarterbacks look better if their guys catch the ball. They look worse if they don't catch the ball. It's all 1/11th, every single player.
And Senator Law, that is why we refer to you as the senator, because that was the most politically smart answer that you could give. And, it's amazing to us, given your position there, that you're able to think on your feet the way that you do. And now we know why you're going to be the sideline reporter. Well, Brad, it's been 10 years since the Auburn Tigers have won in Tiger Stadium. What will be the game plan for Auburn going up against LSU this week?
Well, it's actually been 22 years. 1999 is the last time. So maybe 10 games.
10 games.
Oh, my bad. 10 games.
That stadium. No, that's all right. It's I would rather it have been 10 years than 2 years.
Amen.
So, game plan, I think Auburn's going to try to establish the run. You've got to establish the run. You've got to stop the run. LSU, in 3 of its 4 games this year, have averaged under 3 yards per carry. They have really struggled to run the ball. Well, Auburn held Penn State in check on the ground, but Jahan Dotson had a huge day on the receiving end from Sean Clifford. So Auburn defensively has got to find Keyshawn Butte, the tremendous receiver. He's responsible for 3 of the 4 longest plays from scrimmage this season so far for LSU. Got to find a way to limit what he does, get off the field on 3rd down, and try to wear down that LSU team with an Auburn running game that has been very strong here to start the year through the first 4 games. Georgia State did a good job, guys, of crowding the line of scrimmage and taking away. They tackled extraordinarily well. Of the 4 teams Auburn's played to start the year, Georgia State's the best tackling team that Auburn played. They're a better tackling team than Penn State was. So you got to make some guys miss, break some tackles, bust some long runs, be patient offensively. LSU sort of allowed Mississippi State to get some yardage here and there and forced State to try and be patient and try to be perfect offensively. They weren't. They coughed it up a couple of times on the plus side of the 50, and that's why LSU was able to win that ball game in Starkville. So got to hit the big plays, got to hold on to the ball.
Well, we look forward to seeing you on the sidelines this coming weekend, Brad. Thank you so much for taking some time out of your day for us.
Always a pleasure. I hope everybody has a wonderful War Eagle night.
Absolutely. Tiger Talk is going to be tomorrow night. Thank you so much, Brad. You have a great weekend. And also, remember, guys, that you can hear Auburn right here, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. 7 o'clock for the pregame, 8 o'clock for the kickoff against LSU. This is going to be a big-time game. Auburn football sponsored locally by Stormore Portable Solutions, Pineapple Willie's, Certified Gearhead and Motorsports, and Best Way Portable Buildings. We'll be right back. It's time to defend your stance.
My weather forecast overnight, clouds will lower and thicken. Overnight temperature 65 to 72 and light variable winds. We'll have a south wind developing Wednesday, about 10-12 miles per hour. It'll be in the mid-80s, partly to mostly sunny Wednesday, and the water temperature in the Gulf of Mexico is 82. A weak system coming in Thursday, maybe a shower or stray thunderstorm, partly sunny in the mid to upper 80s. For 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, this is meteorologist Tim Root.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Right now is your chance to win in the Grand Slam of Cash. Your code word is...
Bucks.
Enter the code word at ESPNPC.com or play on the ESPN Northwest Florida app. 2 ways to play this national contest.
$1,000 in cash, oh man.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hear that? That's the plumpest, juiciest hot dogs you've ever seen getting their grill on. But we both know what'll make it sound even better. Oh yeah, it's a Pepsi to go with your hot dog. Because when you're chomping on America's favorite meal, relish, mustard, and onions perfectly blending into a crescendo of flavor, there's only one thing that makes everything about that moment better. A cold, refreshing Pepsi. See what I mean? It's like music to my ears. Hot dogs. Better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
You know that sound anywhere. It's the crisp crunch of that first nacho chip. With its perfect cheese to sour cream ratio sitting atop a layer of delicious beans, it's a sip away from perfection. That's what we're looking for. Add a delicious, refreshing Pepsi and we've achieved absolute nacho nirvana. Because while you can pile those nachos high with every spicy, cheesy, savory topping, there's no topping a cool Pepsi finish. Nachos, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida are proud members of the Panama City Beach Chamber. We'd like to welcome the newest members to the Beach Chamber.
Cottages Christian Retreat, LLC. Real Sticky. Watchstander Services. One Hope Wine. And Save the Closet.
Congratulations from the area's only sports radio station. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
The next evolution in sports talk radio. It's the Afternoon Underdogs. Inside the Slim Chicken studio.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Make it so.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
What's up? You're listening to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, and we are the Afternoon Underdogs. And all you got to do is give us a call, 850-215-6290. This segment is Defend Your Stance right here, sponsored by Emerald Coast Damsel, Independent Damsel Pro for Damsel in Defense. The quote here is, I pity the fool who doesn't use our tool. Hey, Old School, you came up with our first question today for Defend Your Stance. Kind of explain where your head's at on this question.
Well, I heard a sound clip from Jalen Hurts, the quarterback of the Philadelphia Eagles, last night, and
I'm anxious to hear this because I watched the game, but I didn't hear the press conference afterwards.
And in this, he was taking the blame for this loss,
As he should.
I'm not so sure about that, but let's listen to the clip if you've got it, Dave.
I didn't execute. I didn't do a good enough job of leading. I didn't do a good enough job of running our offense, of doing the things that I need to do. So it's on me. This one's on me.
On the pick six, what was going on?
All right, so there it is. It's on him. What do you think about that?
I mean, I watched the game. I mean, it is on him. I mean, he looked. I don't know. He didn't look like the Jalen Hurt that we watched play at Alabama. You know, he looked to me, and that's just my review of it. He really looked like almost like a deer in the headlights. I think they rattled him a little bit, to be honest. I think the Cowboys defense rattled him, and he wasn't the Jalen Hurts that we're used to watching. I think he stayed in the pocket too much. It just, I don't know, man. And I'll be honest, man. Dak Prescott, God, he looked like a warrior last night. I think that's the best I've seen him in forever. He was on last night.
He was on. What you got on this, Old School?
Well, I disagree. I think this is not on Jalen. Certainly, Jalen did not play well, but I don't think his coaching staff did him any favors whatsoever. They ran the ball one time in the first quarter. And, he is what I saw last night was a college quarterback trying to play in the NFL.
That's a good analysis.
And I think that, when you're responsible for developing a quarterback, you have to put them in positions to be able to execute what they can execute.
Right.
And I think they were asking too much of him. He was focusing in on his first read. The pick six was because he never took his eyes off of the wide receiver that he was going to. I mean, it was Devontae Smith. I mean, everybody knows that the connection there between the two of them. And I just think that they need to work with him and continue to groom him and give him options. Give him the ability to have some easy throws, and to take the pressure off of him. A quarterback's best friend is a running game. And they abandoned it. I mean, so quickly. And I realized that the Cowboys jumped on him. But the first score that Philadelphia got was, a strip and in the end zone, and that they recovered. But I just think that they really, they're just asking too much of Jalen Hurts at this point in his development. And I think the responsibility lays more with Serrani,
yeah,
the head coach, than with Jalen.
So for me on this, especially touching on how rattled he looked, right? Last
year, he
did, especially in that first half.
And being an Alabama fan, have you ever seen him have those kinds of
every single game he played quarterback at Alabama? Every single.
So it was no real surprise to you.
But he gets comfortable as the game goes on. But last year, right, that he didn't start the whole year. But last year when he was playing, there was no fans in the stands.
Right.
So he was used to just a different type of football than he's ever played before.
Like a practice game.
Well, then now, big road game, NFC East, Jerry's World at that. And yeah, he definitely came out looking rattled, looking like he was happy feet, especially in that first half.
Yeah.
In the second half, and one thing I want to point out is the interception to Trayvon Diggs. And you saw Trayvon Diggs and Jalen Hurts yapping against each other a lot last night, which is really cool to see. And on that particular play where Trayvon Diggs took it to the house on the pick six, you had the Alabama quarterback throwing to an Alabama wide receiver. Alabama cornerback takes it all the way back to the house right there. It was Alabama all over the field last night.
I thought Jalen Hurts played his last 2 years at Oklahoma.
Okay, Eli, man.
I mean, he's an Oklahoma quarterback.
Nick Saban was just about to be.
I didn't see Tula out there last night. I believe
You've been on the
that
Coach
Jalen
Jay's
Hurts
Hell
played-
Show.
He ended his career at Oklahoma, not at Alabama. And I understand where you're coming
All
from,
right.
being a homer for Alabama.
Being a homer, yes, sir.
I fully get that. But
Well, we'll just take it away and say the cornerback, one of the offensive linemen, and the wide receiver were
the
Alabama.
offensive lineman, the defensive back, and the wide receiver all came out of Alabama.
All right, and one of them started his career at Alabama. The funny thing about that was Nick Saban was just getting ready to be on the broadcast with Peyton and Eli on their ESPN2 edition of Monday Night Football. But for me, I think that things will slow down here for Jalen Hurts. I agree with you more than anything. Here's the thing, guys. 326 passing yards for Jalen Hurts, 35 rushing yards for Jalen Hurts. Their running back, Miles Sanders, got 2 carries. Their other running back, Gainwell, 1 carry. That's 29 yards on 3 carries. You've got to be getting the ball to these running backs so you can open up the tight end passing for Jalen Hurts, because Jalen Hurts, without his tight ends, you got Devontae Smith and Jalen Reagor. Those are great things, but you got to work these tight ends into the game. So I don't want to jump the gun on Jalen Hurts, but getting back to the premise of this conversation, is it on him? Well, isn't every loss basically on a quarterback at the end of the day?
Of course.
He's doing his
and
job.
I think that's what he meant by what he said. You know, that one's on me.
Yeah, and it showed tremendous leadership. I mean, that's
it
what you want a quarterback to do, is to take the pressure off of his teammates and shoulder it. And that's what he's always done. There's never been a question about his character. There's never been a question about his leadership skills. There's just been a question of, can he throw the ball accurately enough in the NFL? Can he read defenses, go through his progressions, and deliver the ball accurately? Last night, he was not doing that, and he paid the price for it.
850-215-6290 is the number to call. If you weren't listening earlier, we've got a trivia question out there pertaining to the Boston Red Sox. If you're ready for it, go ahead and hit our line, and we will get you on here. So let's move on to the next part of this game. Are the Cowboys for real this year? What do you think, old school?
They are certainly more real than what most of us expected.
Yeah.
And I have to take my hat off to Dan Quinn. I really do, because, maybe we've realized now, maybe Dan Quinn has realized that he's a better defensive coordinator than he is as the head coach.
Yeah.
He has put together a defense that ranges from sideline to sideline. He's brought safeties in and turned them into linebackers. They got speed. They've got a really good defensive back, and they don't even have some of their best pass rushers in there because of injuries. So the Cowboys have looked really good on the defensive side, looked much better than they did last year. Offensively, Prescott is on another level right now. Mm-hmm. The guy is playing with so much confidence. He is delivering the ball. He's got wide receivers running all over the field, including tight ends. He's hitting them all in stride, right where they want the ball. They don't have to slow down. I mean, he has played at a level that I think a lot of people have been surprised. We've all, admired his leadership and his ability to scramble around and make plays, but he's playing the quarterback position as you want a quarterback to play it.
What do you think, Randy?
I thought, it reminded me of Cowboys of yesteryear. I haven't seen the Cowboys play that well in all phases in a long time. I mean, I was like, this is unbelievable. I predicted like a 34-21 score. It was
That's
a little
what we ended
higher
up going with. Yep.
34-21, and we weren't far off.
No, touchdown off of it.
Yeah, it was, and I was watching towards the end, and I was like, wow. Looks like we're going to nail this, but of course, Cowboys scored again. But it was, I'm telling you, I think, and I hate to say this because I am not a Cowboys fan,
right?
But I think, I think if the Cowboys continue to play like they played last night, the Cowboys are back.
Okay. Now that is a hot take right there. I like that take,
I'm just
too.
telling
we need to write that one down.
Yeah, we did.
I was impressed.
Oh, I was too. It's early in the season.
I know it is.
There's a lot of football left. But all of the NFC East has better sit up and take notice because the Cowboys are not the Cowboys of last year.
Well, and then also the Phillies are better than what we thought, or the Eagles are a little bit better than what we thought they would be headed into this. Washington football team lose Fitzpatrick, and the Giants lost to the Falcons. So there's some things happening in the NFC East that really kind of push Dallas all the way up to the top. Dak absolutely looks comfortable, and that is a great thing to see. Then also, what did I see last night that are great? That's great news for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm seeing 17 carries from Ezekiel Elliott, 95 yards, and 2 touchdowns to go along with that. Then I'm also seeing Pollard, who got the brunt of the work last week, still come in and dominate in that almost backup role, but explosive role.
What I saw from Zeke last night was the ability to cut.
Yes.
I mean, there was one play where he starts into the line, he realizes there's nothing there, he jumps backwards, jumps to the right, then goes forward. I mean, that was not a play that fat boy Zeke could have done. Chocolate chip Zeke, he didn't make that play last year, but Zeke seems to be much more in shape. He seems to be running with more veracity. And, he looks far more like the Zeke of old, just maybe a few steps slower.
Yeah.
You listen to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. The Atlanta Braves and the Phillies in a big-time series coming up tonight. First pitch, 6:20, as well as tomorrow night and Thursday to wrap that series up. We've got some big things happening here in Northwest Florida. We're going to be right back, give you some new headlines, and talk about the games from Sunday.
Only 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida could bring sports fans like you an app this powerful. The sports content you crave is always on. Live stream us everywhere you go. Now with upgraded programming and live game schedules, you'll always know when the Atlanta Braves and your favorite games are playing. Plus, interact with our local hosts in real time and so much more. The new app for the sports fanatic is available at the Apple Store and Google Play. From 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's time to kick off savings on the purchase of a new Kia from Bill Bird Kia. Take a test drive today and find out why everyone is talking about the award-winning Kia. Purchase a new 2021 Kia Rio and get $500 cash back. Or purchase a new 2021 Kia Forte and get $750 cash back. It's peace of mind you can trust. Your local community dealer, Bill Bird Kia, is not only the home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty, they're the home of the best customer experience anywhere. Stop by and see us at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillBirdKia.com. We make buying a car easy, and you'll enjoy the way we do business.
Cashback offer from KMA on the purchase of a new 2021 Kia Rio or 2021 Kia Forte for well-qualified buyers cannot be combined with the finance or lease offers from KMF. See dealer for complete program details. The 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. Must take delivery from dealer stock through 10/4/21.
You wake up late, rush through your shower, run out to the car, and the garage door won't open. Oh! Don't let this be you. Get your garage door service today. At All About Garage Doors, we offer 24/7 service at no extra charge.
Call us today for our single torsion spring replacement for $199 or our double torsion spring replacement for $299, both with a 2-year parts and labor warranty.
Call All About Garage Doors, 850-842-9188. Veteran owned and operated.
Hi folks, it's Tracy with Tracy's Fine Jewelry and Coin and Bullion Reserves. Did you know that we do more than just sell some of the finest jewelry in town? We can engrave on your wedding band, locket, Yeti cup, or almost anything. Need your watch battery changed? We can do that too. Our expert will even evaluate your coin collection. And of course, we always pay top dollar for your old gold and silver jewelry. See, there's a lot more to Tracy's Fine Jewelry than a lot of pretty sparkly things. Come and see us today at Tracy's Fine Jewelry.
Panama City Sports Monster. Powered by Pepsi. WGSX Lynn Haven, Panama City. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Little Zeppelin for you right there with the black dog, baby. Black Labrador Retriever. Coach Hale always is talking about those dogs. I miss my man Coach Hale, and you guys can listen to him Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. Quaker Oats. Every time anyone comments that, Julie gets on there and she's like, "Who's this Quaker Oats guy?" Just go to the store, Miss Hale. Go to the store.
All you got to do is pick it up and look at it.
Yeah, Google.
And there you go.
Love Coach Hale, though. He's got some great stuff. And you guys want some great stuff, you need to be listening to the station for the code word at 8:45 a.m., 12:45 p.m., 4:45 p.m. Then you take that code word, you go to the website, espnpc.com, or even better, you get the ESPN Northwest Florida app, you enter the code word, and then that is your chance to win $1,000 in cold, hard cash.
But that's not
cash,
all.
homie.
That's not all. On that app, there's also some trivia questions.
Oh, yeah, that is right.
And
so you can win.
Easy way to pick up some Barbaritos food if you
But you
just
gotta
go in
answer
there.
questions.
But you got to answer the question right.
And one of them have to deal with our very own Atlanta Braves. So if you were a fan of the Braves in 1991, you need to go download the ESPN Northwest Florida app and get on it. Congratulations to Jeremy, Trent, Jeff, and Ethan, who all won a $25 gift card to Barbaritos, as well as our Swagalicious ESPN Northwest Florida t-shirts, all for just playing trivia on the 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida app. And this week, we're going to have a new question and new prizes, so get the app now at your Google Play or Apple Store.
I mean, how easy is that?
Swagalicious.
You don't have to call in. You don't have to be the caller. Anytime that you want, you just go to the app. You play the trivia game.
Yep.
If you get the answer right, bam. Or as Randy says, bam.
Yeah, you got to put
You
a
got
little
a winner.
emphasis to it.
Yeah, a little emphasis, right? That's how we need to go. All right, so got a couple of headlines we want to get back into. The Lions are releasing Jamie Collins, so hopefully he can make a home for another team. Really was there, in my opinion, because Matt Patricia used to be the head coach, so Dan Campbell does not want Jamie Collins biting no kneecaps. Colts and running back Marlon Mack agree to part ways, and they're going to be looking for a trade suitor. All three Bears quarterbacks considered for the start this week against the Lions, and Brandon Belt, the San Francisco Giants first baseman's broken his thumb and his status is unclear. Matt Corral, Bryce Young headed up against each other this weekend, and both of those guys are leading the odds to win the Heisman at this point in time of the season. What a job Lane Kiffin has done with those running Rebels. And then finally, we showed you the clip earlier of Mike Norvell, but he's defending the program that's sitting at 0-4.
I think he's lighting the fire is what he's doing.
I love it. I hope the best for him, and I hope that they can keep those recruits for 2022. But this is the worst start for the Seminoles since 1974. In the world of golf, long drive world championships, Bryson DeChambeau is advancing. He tied for second place in his group after the first day of the Professional Long Drivers Association World Championships. He averaged 406.2 yards on his 5 longest tee shots. DeChambeau hit drives of 412, 408, 407, 403, and 401 on Tuesday. The field on Wednesday is going to be narrowed down from 64 to 32 golfers. The top 8 from each group advance to Thursday, and then down to the final 16 for Friday's final round.
Yeah, and if you've never seen this event, it's a fun event to tune into and watch. You know, it's the range or the area that they're hitting into is about 60 yards wide. They get 6 shots. And as you said, Dave, you know, he was consistent. That is not something that you normally see. Usually these guys hit it so far and they're swinging at it so hard that out of those 6 swings, they might get 2 in.
Wow.
But Bryson is, because of the fact that he plays, you know, on the PGA Tour, his consistency is far greater. Now, he may not hit it quite as far, but every once in a while, if it lands on the right sprinkler head out there or in the right hard spot, he could be dangerous.
And every dog's got its day, too.
And every dog has his day. And, you know, you think about that. Here was Bryson just this past weekend playing in maybe the most pressure-packed type of an event, which is the Ryder Cup. It is guts and glory. I mean, you got to go out there and put your game out for display in front of everybody, and you can be a hero or you can be a goat. In his case, he had a good weekend, and he really played well for the Ryder Cup. And I just think this is pretty cool that he's doing that and then right over to compete in the long drive.
Right onto a T-shirt. Justin Thomas.
A T-shirt?
Yeah, a T-shirt, man. Justin Thomas rocking the Bryson DeChambeau and Brooks Koepka. Their faces are put on the bodies of stepbrothers Will Ferrell. And so there you have it right there. I mean, what a picture that is.
That's awesome.
One thing I wanted to bring up with the Ryder Cup and one shot that I saw from Bryson DeChambeau, just similar to how he did earlier on in the year where he went a different route than what other golfers were going. He went straight towards the hole and left a 620 par 5, left the next shot to be about 100-something yards, whereas normally it takes people 2 to 3 shots to get where his ball was in his first drive.
I mean, the tour leaders in distance, right? They hit it 320, 330. On that particular drive, he hit it 417. In Ryder Cup competition, he hits it 417. Now, he was dead downwind, and he had 87 yards left on a par 5.
Wow.
And here's the difference, right? Then he knocked it stiff with his wedges. So not only does he hit it far, all weekend long he was hitting it far and then clipping these wedges in there, stiff and making birdies or eagles. The last day of the Ryder Cup, I mean, the most singles match, he starts off the round by driving the first hole and then makes a 41-foot eagle putt to go one up on the first hole. That's called announcing your presence with authority.
That's a good way to put it. Announcing your presence with authority, especially from a scientifically authoritative type guy, man, especially from that match with Phil Mickelson and Steph Curry and stuff, and you really see all of the analytics that goes into his particular game of golf. Man, we had a great weekend of football, especially on the NFL side of things. I mean, there was 4 games at the bare minimum. Yeah, 4 games exactly that were won by kicks. How about the Ravens? We were talking about it earlier with Max Delyden. The Ravens in the 66-yarder from Justin Tucker to win the game against the Lions. The Lions, I really thought that game was over. And you got to give a lot of credit to Lamar right there. Why? Because it was 4th and 19. He throws the ball up and boom, gets them into position to even have a chance at that field goal. But I was watching that thing, and when it hit the crossbar, I'm like, no, wait, where'd the ball go? Ding, straight up and in, man. I mean, if he would have been able to hit the crossbar from 70, that thing would have been good from 80, as high as it bounced off of that crossbar. You also had the Falcons getting their first win in what feels like forever from the former Falcon fan here with old school.
No.
Oh, man.
That wasn't enough for you?
No.
I really thought they were going to woo you back.
No.
Dan Quinn is gone.
I mean
they got to win. Their defense looked fantastic.
It's a typical Falcons. They had to rely on a kicker kicking a 50-yarder to win it.
Well, they won.
They won 17-14.
Okay.
Hey, good for they won on the road. I'm happy for them.
See, he wants them to lose every game, and they get that first round pick.
You're right. I don't have a problem with that, but I'm not a Falcons fan. I mean, it's just. I'm a Falcon realist.
I'm a Falcon realist. You should be an every team realist at this point in time. The Raiders also got their win. Former Auburn kicker Daniel Carlson hitting a 22-yarder at the end of overtime. That was the best game of the afternoon games, even though that you had the big one in the Bucs and the Rams. And then the Packers, Sunday Night Football. Wow. How about the job that Aaron Rodgers did? I mean, first off,
37 seconds.
Give kudos to the physical San Francisco 49ers, the game that they played, the lack of running backs that they had. But for the Packers, Aaron Rodgers gets the ball with what you said, 37 seconds, 2 throws. I think they ran 3 to 4 plays, but 2 throws to Devontae Adams. I felt like the whole night, all Aaron Rodgers was doing was dropping back, where's number 17? Drop back, where's number 17? Hand it off to 33, maybe 28 and A.J. Dillon, but we'll get Aaron Jones and Dillon mixed up into the game plan, and then boom, where's Devontae Adams? That was like the whole night. So 2 completions of 25 and 17 yards, and then Mason Crosby comes through and kicks the 51-yard field goal.
And if you ever questioned whether or not Aaron Rodgers was into this season, what's his reaction when that thing went through?
Mm-hmm. And he's so mild-mannered about it, to the point that people think, just like you said, that he didn't care, especially after that Week 1 loss. Oh, it's just one game, which is the correct answer. Let's not forget, why would you overreact as a player to a big-time loss to the Saints, who are a good team? We can't forget that they're a good team, but the Packers are for real, and they're going to get better because guess what? They don't even have David Bakhtiari again right now. Once they get that, who brings a lot of cohesion to that offensive line, we're talking about another. And think about the steps, the strides that the Rams have shown. That NFC is going to be tumultuous. Now, speaking of field goal kicking, And we're going to get into more of this later at 5:45. I've got the call from Gus Johnson on the Agnew touchdown. But why would you kick? I had flashbacks of Auburn and Alabama all over again when they tried to kick a 68-yard field goal. I get it, back in the day, Prater might have had that leg, but that's a 68-yard field goal at halftime in a close game with a team that you really don't belong to be in a close game with.
Jack Dempsey would have hit that.
With the square?
Yeah, he only had half a foot.
Half a foot, that's right.
He had no toes on that foot. He'd have hit that.
I mean, he was a straight-on kicker.
Yeah.
Well, there wasn't any soccer-style kicking for him. But, I mean, it's you would think these coaches would learn that, it's exciting for a kicker to go out there and kick a 68-yarder or whatever, but there's also a downside, and they witnessed it. As that guy ran by him on the way back for a touchdown, there's always a downside, and you take the risk when you try to kick one that far.
Yeah.
You talk about a game that I really didn't even want to not saying I didn't want to bring up to it, bring it up, but it wasn't one of the ones on the front of my mind, the Saints and the Patriots. And so we're going to respond to Caveman Rick here, who says Saints are phonies, Dave. I just can't say at this point in time that they're phonies because that defense is still there. No, you don't have Drew Brees at quarterback. That's absolutely for certain. But also, Drew Brees in the last couple of years had injuries that would take him out for 4 or 5 games. And then Teddy Bridgewater steps in. Taysom Hill or Jameis Winston would step in and see what they could do for him. But now you've given the keys to Jameis Winston. They've had a loss, but I can't say that they're phonies. They're not out here not playing good football. They've got a great defense, and we'll see how Jameis goes throughout the season.
Yeah, I think they're real. I mean, defensively, they're back. And they won a game when Jameis didn't play very well.
Now, here's the question. And didn't he also say the same thing, Caveman Rick, about the Cowboys a few minutes ago?
He's always going to say that they're phonies. He's always going to say that the Cowboys are phonies. But I believe that the Cowboys are a complete team. We saw shades of it last year, but the thing is Dak was playing great, right? Especially in garbage time. But the final record, at least when he got injured, was 1-4. And you got to do better than that. And we're seeing better this year. They had a tough loss to the Buccaneers team. There's no doubt about it. But it's tough to run against that interior line. So we'll have to see. The Bucs are a really good team, but I think the Cowboys are a really good team as well. And that's what makes this NFC just that more interesting.
It's going to be very dynamic this year.
Hey, it's time to beat the underdogs. Yesterday, we actually went undefeated, guys, and we'll find out more about that when we get back.
Bring it!
Atlanta Braves and the Phillies tonight, man. I'm so excited about it. That's why I keep telling you guys about it. 6:20 tonight. Get the ESPN Northwest Florida app.
My weather forecast overnight, clouds will lower and thicken. Overnight temperature 65 to 72 and light variable winds. We'll have a south wind developing Wednesday, about 10-12 miles per hour. It'll be in the mid-80s, partly to mostly sunny Wednesday, and the water temperature in the Gulf of Mexico is 82. A weak system coming in Thursday, maybe a shower or stray thunderstorm, partly sunny in the mid to upper 80s. For 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, this is meteorologist Tim Root.
Home of the official 68-degree chill. None other than the official Vortex Spring. The hottest summer days can't stand up to the everyday, can't change it. Constant 68 degrees of gin clear water. Every single day at Vortex Spring in Ponce de Leon. Come for a day or come for a weekend. Camping, nature trails, diving, swimming, snorkeling, something for the whole family. Discount for first responders, active duty, and retired military. Online at vortexspring.com.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Fansville, a college football utopia. Fansville. Where the lakes are stocked with ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Where the night sky is tinted with the amber glow of burning couches. Majestic. Where rivalries run deep and bandwagoning is a third-degree felony. It's a land flowing with nacho cheese and spicy mustard, where every dispute is settled by coin toss. Tails never fails. Every backside is calloused from years of bleacher sitting. Buns of steel. And every fan, regardless of race, creed, or alma mater, deserves the rich flavor of Dr. Pepper. Delicious. These are loyal folk who stay true to their coach through thick and thin. Mostly thick. Who lift their Dr. Peppers high and proudly proclaim, "This is our year," even though it probably isn't. But maybe it is. Return to glory this season with Fansville by Dr. Pepper. The one fans deserve. Grab some today.
Tyndall Air Force Base to the Hathaway Bridge. We're live and local. It's the Afternoon Underdogs, live from the Slim Chicken Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
All right, we're back, and that was the Tennessee fight song, and there is not a whole lot for them to be fighting about, especially after a big loss to the Florida Gators, 38-14. But now we're going to go back to Beat the Underdogs. This is 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, and you're listening to the Afternoon Underdogs. And we've got a little game here that we like to play with you. Beat the Underdogs. So go ahead and give us a call, 850-215-6290. The games for today are going to be the Yankees at the Blue Jays. This is a big game when it comes to the wild card. All you got to do is come in and pick with us. Since we're going to have 3 callers, we don't have to pick differently. Mm-hmm. We were undefeated last night, guys. We had the Cowboys to win. We had the Mariners to win, who won 13-4 against the A's. We had Jalen Hurts to have more yards than Dak, and he did by over 100 yards. And then the score, thanks to Randy, we had closer than anyone else, which is a tiebreaker, but we had it at 34-21.
It was darn close.
It was really close to that.
If they hadn't intercepted a pass and run it back, they'd have been right on it.
I know.
Almost.
That's a good point.
Then I would have hit the big money.
Yeah.
That parlay would have been good.
How about that?
We just got a text in from Brian Haddad who said that was the worst song ever. My man, I played it just for you. I played it just for you.
Oh, my God. That was funny.
And let's light these lines up, y'all. Yankees at the Blue Jays. Will Joey Votto bang a home run tonight versus the Chicago White Sox with Reynaldo Lopez on the mound? He doesn't have to be on the mound when he hits a home run, but that's who he's starting out, so you got the information that you need. And then we'll also pick the over and under to the Phillies at the Braves game, and the tiebreaker is going to be the closest to the points for that Yankees-Blue Jays games. 850-215-6290 for your chance to win $25 to that boot store and $25 to Blue Sky Car Wash. We haven't got a trivia winner because you guys are out there scared right now.
I think you intimidate them.
We need a Red Sox fan to call in and talk about you guys' history. When was the last time somebody hit over 360? There's 2 players to do it. If you give me one, I'll give you 50% of the prize today. Let's go, callers. 850-215-6290. Now let's talk about this Yankees-Blue Jays game just a little bit. Old school. Right now, the Yankees, the Red Sox, and Toronto are all battling for that wild card. Tonight, you got James Talon on the mound going up against Ryu for the Blue Jays. This is a big-time game. If the Blue Jays win, they're inching closer, and we're definitely going to see 2 teams from the AL East. So, guys, who are we going to go with tonight, Yankees or the Blue Jays on Beat the Underdogs?
Well, it's hard to go against the Pinstripes.
Yes, it is.
But I really like the way the Blue Jays are playing. I mean, they have played with energy. They have played with fire. They have overcome a lot today. I mean, do you think about it? They didn't get to start playing at home in Canada until after the All-Star break.
Right.
So they played in Buffalo. They played in Tampa. They were on the road. So think about that. They're basically on the road for the first half of the season, and for them to be in the position that they're in is incredibly impressive. So my vote would be Blue Jays.
Blue Jays. I think that we could stick with the Blue Jays for sure on that. Now, real quick, let's get to the trivia question. We've got John on the line. John, where are you calling from, buddy?
Calling from Panama City.
Panama City. Which part of Panama City are you in?
What's that?
Which part of Panama City are you in?
I'm on the road right now.
Awesome. All right. Well, since Ted Williams hit 406 in 1941, only a handful of Red Sox players have come remotely close to that. Obviously, no major leaguer has hit 400 since Ted Williams did it. Name the only 2 Red Sox players to hit at least 360 since Williams retired in 1960.
I know Wade Boggs is one.
That's absolutely right.
Trying to think of the other one. I got to get them both.
You got to get them both, but I did say that I'd walk back on that, and if you get one of them right, we'll work something out.
I don't think I can get the second one.
Oh, come on now.
He's not there no more.
He's not there no more.
Yastrzemski.
No, come on. Think about what we just said. He's not there no more. He's married to a really famous kicker. Soccer
Really
player.
famous kick.
Soccer player.
Soccer player.
Hey,
no, my God, you.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
Now
All
he gets
right.
the whole package. Now
Yes,
he gets
sir.
the whole package.
Hey,
Hook
John.
that man up.
Hey, John, stay on the line for me. You just won $25 to Blue Sky Car Wash as well as $25 gift card to Barbaritos. Stick on the line for me, my friend.
Now, just remember, David, it is not just a $25 car wash. It is the top-of-the-line Blue Sky Express car wash.
It is the ceramic.
Yes,
car
the
wash.
ceramic. So it will make your car look somewhat brand new.
It will.
Yeah.
And it's such a pleasure to go out there because it's clean. When you go through there, there's plenty of places for you to pull over and vacuum out. It's got everything you can want. If you want your floor mats cleaned, if you want to get into all the specific little things and blow out the dust or whatever.
That's the coolest thing about the whole thing. I have never seen a car wash, and we've all tried to get those couple of peanuts in between the seats. Well, they've got that little wand.
That little wand thing.
It blows it out.
Yeah.
It blows air. So all of a sudden, the peanuts go from the sides of your chair to the floor,
and then you can
get
vacuum up.
There you go.
And then they got the microfiber towels to be able to wipe, your windows. If you wipe your dash, it's just.
It sounds like you've been camping out there.
I've been there a few times, and I love it. It's such a pleasant experience to go to. The staff there is great. They get you through there in a hurry.
Absolutely.
So you can't beat that experience for a car wash.
Well, that was awesome that we were able to hook John up and get him all squared away.
Yeah, he said he loved the show and knows where the studio is at. I think this is his first time winning, though, so
that's even better.
That is some great stuff.
Awesome.
We got a Boston, and he's a Boston fan. You could hear it when he said, "No, my Garcia Para." You know, that was awesome, man. I love him. Surprised Boston Tim didn't call in himself, but he probably doesn't feel like he's eligible to win. And I don't think he would have got it right myself anyway. So
probably not.
We'll find out about that.
I don't know. There's not much that man doesn't know about Boston.
Tell the truth. That's 100% real old school. Real quick, though, 850-215-6290. The prizes are not done to give away. It's time to beat the underdogs. No one could do it yesterday. Could you be the one to topple the underdogs? 850.
They could be the first. They could be a record setter.
Yeah, we'll take a picture with you and put you up here in the studio somewhere.
Why not?
Yeah, I like that. If you're the first people to topple the underdogs, and we've got some great stuff. Yeah, it's baseball related, but if you're a baseball fan, all you got to do is take a stab. And guess what? All of these are 50% chances that you're going to get it right or wrong. Who knows? So what we're going with is the Blue Jays, right?
Well, 50% is pretty good odds.
I like those odds.
I do too.
I wish everything was 50-1 odds when it came to the betting world. Then we'd be doing just fine.
Exactly. We're going with the Blue Jays.
Blue Jays, all right, I like that. Is Joey Votto going to hit a home run tonight? Yes or no?
Bang, bang.
Bang, bang. That's a yes from the underdogs. And then finally, the Braves and the Phillies. What's the over-under on that? It's 7.5.
Projected 7.5.
All right. So are we going over that amount or under that amount, especially with Morton and Wheeler
That's
on
the
the
part
mound
that
tonight?
scares me. You got Morton and Wheeler. Wheeler is a flamethrower. Potentially could win the Cy Young. He's certainly in the conversation. I don't think he will, but he's in the conversation. He's a local guy there in Atlanta. He's coming back home. He's handled the Braves a couple of times. The Braves have got him once. So I think that 7.5 might be a little high.
Ooh, the 7. All right, so we're going to go under. Randy, you good with that?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
All right, and then so we need to pick a score that stays under 7.5 points. 4-3 sounds really good, but
I was
4-0 is better.
4-3.
It's
love
5-4. If you like 5-4, then that's over.
No, my bad. I was thinking
4-3.
4-3.
4-3. Okay. I think that we'll go with 4-3. So, guys, you have all of our answers now. All you got to do is pick against us or pick with us. If you tie us and you get the tiebreaker right, boom, big money winner. Boom, shakalaka. Let's go to dinner. So, What do we got going on? 850-215-6290. Do not be scared to call.
I think you intimidate them. That's what it is.
I don't get everything right. In fact, luckily for you guys, if I would have had it my way yesterday, yesterday, right before the game, I'm in a ESPN Fantasy Pick'em, right? 850-215-6290 is the number to call to get on Beat the Underdogs. I'm sitting there and I'm like, for some reason, every time that I pick the Cowboys, something happens. So I change it real quick to the Eagles right before kickoff to try to gain an edge on the opponents that I'm with. That did not work out for me yesterday. So glad to pick with the Underdogs.
Absolutely. You got to listen to us.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Cowboys, I mean, that was a game last night, man. I thoroughly enjoyed watching it. And you know what? It's the first time that I've sat down, relaxed, and watched an NFL game. And that was a good feeling.
It was good to see, Texas Stadium or now AT&T Stadium was rocking. I mean, it was rocking. Dak had the fans fired up. The Cowboys had them really going. Yeah. So tough environment for Philly. But it was, it's an exciting time for Cowboy fans.
Well, let's welcome in Travis into a tough environment here at the Slim Chicken Studio. He's going to take on the Underdogs here. Hey, Travis, how's it going, buddy?
It's going great. How about yourself?
Hey, we are doing great here in the Slim Chicken Studio. Who do you like tonight out of the Blue Jays and the Yankees?
Blue Jays. I'll never go for the Yankees.
There you go, brother.
Hey, Fan Friday for you coming up soon, my man. I'm going to be saving your number here in a second when I get that from you. All right, so Joey Votto, will he hit a home run tonight against the White Sox? Reynaldo Lopez is on the mound to start the game tonight.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, I love it.
He's with us so far.
All right. Now, the over-under of the Atlanta Braves Philadelphia Phillies game is set at 7.5 runs. Do you like the over or the under tonight?
Over, but just at 8.
Ooh, all right. Now give me a final score prediction.
5-3 Braves.
5-3 Braves. That is some good stuff. Hey, and you got the Braves winning. Hey, do me a favor. Stick on the line. We're about to go to a break, but stick on the line so I can grab your number from you.
Sounds good.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much for the call, Travis. You're listening to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. The Auburn Tigers have a big game in Death Valley against LSU. The pregame is going to be starting at 7, kickoff at 8 o'clock. So much sports, so little time. So you need to get the ESPN Northwest Florida app. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida. War Eagle.
Touchdown, Auburn!
From the shotgun, Nix takes the snap. Two-step drop, throws to the end zone. Robertson's got it! Touchdown, Auburn!
Tune in Saturday night as Auburn football opens SEC play in Baton Rouge with kickoff at 8 Central on your home for Auburn football.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Are you ready for some football? So are the folks at That Boot Store. They have the latest in Western outfits, along with brand names like Wolverine, Timberland Pro, and many others, including Ariat and Old Western for kids. That Boot Store loves the Noles, the Gators, the Tigers, the Bulldogs, and Joe's favorite, Roll Tide. That Boot Store, your team's favorite Western shop, next to Bill Bird Kia on 15th Street. Open Tuesday to Thursday, 9 to 5, Friday and Saturday, 9 to 5:30. Remember what Joe always said, keep Jesus in your heart every day.
Hi, I'm Bobby Likas with today's Car Clinic Minute. Bayonets ready. Take aim and fire. No, you're not in a World War I time warp. You're changing your glove compartment bulb. When I come back, I'll tell you how to hit the bullseye.
The Car Clinic Minute.
It's Bobby Likas Car Clinic, brought to you locally by Hewitt Tire and Auto.
Call 850-769-7323.
Your certified AAA service center and hometown towing.
Visit them online at HewittTire.com.
On Airport Road in Panama City.
That's 850-769-7323. Hewitt Tire and Auto Center and hometown towing.
Don't get up in arms about burned out glove compartment bulbs. You can relight the way in these easy steps. With protected hand, grab your bayonet bulb, that is. This little light is so called because of the protrusion at its base that receives electrical current. Now push in slightly and turn counterclockwise to remove. To install new bulb, line up bayonet with socket slot, ease in, and turn clockwise. Now relax. You've won the battle of the bulb without a single casualty. I'm Bobby Likas. Like us, you'll love us.
We are live and local. From Camp Helen State Park to the historic Martin Theater.
Definitely time to let our hair down and have some fun.
It's the Afternoon Underdogs. Live from the Slim Chicken Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
What's up? You're with the Afternoon Underdogs right here on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We're still playing Beat the Underdogs, and we're going to give you some takeaways here as well. 850-215-6290.
Yeah, there you go. Give us a call. We'd love to play trivia with you and get you all hooked up and give you some stuff.
So I got some thoughts here. We're doing takeaways from the NFL, and we're doing takeaways from college football. So I'll do three. I'll do three.
Yeah, go ahead and do that, and then we'll get Ian on.
All right. Or we can do Ian first, whichever you want to do, sir.
Let's go ahead and get Ian on.
Yeah,
hey, Ian, you are on the line. Let's beat the Underdogs, my friend. Who do you like out of the Blue Jays and the Yankees tonight?
You know what? As much as it breaks my heart, I'm going to go ahead and go with the Pinstripes.
Boo! That's it. I'm not finishing the book now.
Happen. I ain't saying I'm rooting for it to happen. I'm just saying that's how it's going to go down. So...
All right. Hey, all right. So next we got, will Joey Votto hit a home run?
Well, I'm a Reds fan, so I got to go with yes on that. Yep.
Oh, is that actually your team? Is the Cincinnati Reds? I didn't know that, Ian.
It is, man. Yeah, I was one of those guys that was not a big baseball fan earlier on in life. I grew up on all things football, and then later got into motorsports and auto racing. And then I moved to North Carolina and started hanging out in minor league baseball parks, and was a guy who was working 60, 70 hours a week. And when I sat down in the stands with a beer and a dog, I thought, well, isn't this just nice and mellow? I think I like this game after all. And the more I started checking out Major League Baseball and finding teams and listening to radio broadcasts, I got turned on to the Cincinnati Reds with a guy named Marty Brennaman. And any baseball fan worth their salt knows who that guy was.
Yep.
Been in love with him ever since, even as bad as they are.
I love that story, man. It's always great to find out how people came to the conclusion to find their favorite teams or found their favorite teams. All right, so the Braves and the Phillies tonight, big-time game right here on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. The over-under set at 7.5. What do you like, Ian? Over or under?
I know you guys went with the under on this, so I'm going to go with the over and make things interesting.
All right, I like that. And then give me a final score prediction for the Yankees and we've been doing the Braves, haven't we? Yeah, Braves and the Phillies. I switched it up. Sorry, bias.
Braves and the Phillies, huh? All right, let's go with 5-4 Atlanta.
5-4. So you got the over. I love it. And you got the Braves winning, right?
I got the Braves winning.
That is the most important part. Hey, Ian, thank you so much for the call, man.
All right, boys. Y'all have a good evening.
Yes, sir. We still got one more spot for Beat the Underdogs. Give us a call, 850-215-6290. Old school. What you got with your takeaways, bud?
All right, I'm going to do NFL first. It's what a great weekend of NFL football we had. So my first thought that popped in my mind is, the Chiefs, everybody's favorite to out of the AFC to go back to the Super Bowl. They could very easily be 0-3 right now.
Yes, they could.
I mean, they have not played well at all. And then, last week a sophomore quarterback named Justin Herbert comes out and puts it on him and plays like Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. And
he outplayed Patrick Mahomes. And Patrick Mahomes throws an interception to wrap up the game for the Chargers. Those guys, to be the Super Bowl favorite out of the AFC, not looking too good. My second one is the days of miracles are not over.
I know where you're going with this.
The Falcons got to win, but it took a 50-yard field goal to get it done.
Yeah, well,
now I got to give them a little credit. It was on the road, but still, they are the Falcons.
I thought their defense played better.
Well, it's hard to play worse than their defense had been.
understand.
So it's good to see a little bit of movement in the positive direction for Falcons fans. Thank God I'm not one anymore. My third take on it was that, Justin Herbert might very well be the best quarterback in the AFC.
Whoa.
What?
The entire AFC. Well,
the
Tom
entire
Brady's not
AFC.
there, so
Tom
why
Brady's
not, right?
there anymore. So, I mean, I think Justin Herbert is, as I've said before, I saw him in the Senior Bowl when Kyle Wright and I got to go over there and watch the Senior Bowl.
You said it from that day.
And that kid
I argued tooth and nail with you on that.
He was impressive, and I was like, ooh, this guy's game's going to translate. And it has.
Now, is that the time you guys stayed in that really nice downtown hotel?
It was not downtown. And
okay.
It was okay.
The high rise, right there, and like right off
no,
the.
no.
They stayed on the roof.
We stayed on the other side of the water, not the river. But it was nice. I mean, it was okay. The breakfast, though, was a little bit suspect. And the food in the press box, I guess because we got there a little late, they had already cleaned it out, and they came out with some things that looked like Crystal's hot dogs.
Crystal's hot dogs?
Oh, it was.
Is that a real thing?
Oh, yeah. Have you ever had the small pup?
Oh, yeah. Never went that route, though. If I'm going to Crystal's, I'm going to get a little sack of burgers or whatever.
Let me tell you one thing about a press box, okay? When you go into a press box, you better get there early.
Get there early.
Because let me tell you something, media folks can eat.
Yeah.
Well, not only the media folks, but there were scouts from the other teams that were there.
They're not shy either.
And they were loading down. They were taking advantage of the food there.
Real quick, before we get Jeff Ledford on the line with us to try to beat the underdogs, Caveman says White Castle is better. So my question to you guys, White Castle or Crystals?
Let me tell you something. I lived in Kentucky for 21 long years. And I'm going to tell you, after an experience that I had with White Castles, I'll never touch them again. I'm going to leave it at that. I'll eat a Crystal. To me, the White Castles, to me, they over-steam them. So you get a big mouthful of just almost like wet bread. And now, if it's a late night, like 2 o'clock in the morning, yeah, I mean the flavor and the smell and that big white and blue sign will really just call you in. But I would bet against it if it's about 2 in the morning and you've been out for a little while.
You need some Tums, thin pillow, and a Prilosec.
You better eat a bunch of Tums before you get home, or about 4:30 in the morning. I promise you, no matter how fast asleep you are, you will wake up like that.
We'll get Old School's answer as soon as we get back from Jeff Ledford. Hey, Jeff, you're on the line. It's time to beat the underdogs. Who do you like out of the Blue Jays and the Yankees tonight?
Blue Jays. They got Hung Jung Ryu pitching.
Ooh, I love it. All right, does Joey Votto hit a home run tonight against the White Sox?
No.
Ooh, first guy to say no. That's in your favor. Let's do the over and under on the Braves and Phillies game set at 7.5 tonight.
I'm going under 4-3 Braves.
4-3 Braves, same score as us, but that is just fine. It's a tiebreaker at the end. We can't tie because we've got different answers. Hey, Jeff, thank you so much for the call. Are your Colts going to be okay?
Not this year, it doesn't look like. Too many injuries, man.
Has the situation with Carson came and went?
Well, that's fine. It's just the offensive line can't protect him. I mean, Carson's playing decent, but...
Especially with how heavily his ankles were taped up this week, for him to be able to even have the slightest maneuverability that he did, I thought that was pretty impressive. But a little gutsy on the head coach's side of things with Frank Reich putting him out there.
Well, it reminds me of Andrew Luck, just kind of not getting protected, and you can only expect so much out of a player without an offensive line.
But I thought the Colts' offensive line was the best offensive line in football.
Quentin Nelson went down.
Yeah, that hurt.
Yeah, Quentin Nelson's probably out for a while, and then our left tackle's been out. Braden Smith, he's one of the better left tackles. Our center's been out, the highest paid center in football. So it's just a revolving door.
It is, man. Hey, Jeff.
They definitely were playing some Olay offensive line.
There's no doubt about that. Jeff, thanks so much for the call. Let's get you in here for a Fan Friday coming soon.
All right, thanks. Go Braves.
Go Braves, man. Love to hear it. And I'll even say it for you because when the third Saturday in October happens, we're not really going to be worried about that. I'll be lighting up a cigar after the game, but go Vols. Why not? Just for the heck of it. Let's get into some more takeaways real quick. I'll give you a couple of mine before we get to the next break. The Rams with Matt Stafford are a dang good ball team, and it shows. Now, we're going to have to see what happens throughout the season. If Matt Stafford gets injured, now we're coming to a different type of a ball team. But I think what McVay has dialed up for Matt Stafford is great. That defense is so good that they're going to be a fun team to watch as the year goes on, especially in that tough division of the NFC West. The Falcons win a game. That's all I'm going to say about that one. I'm right along with old school on that, but that's the takeaway nonetheless. The Falcons won a game. Watch out for the Cheeseheads. A-Rod and Devontae Adams, what they had together, the chemistry just building back up. They haven't even got Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones looked different and still almost had 100 yards. It was like he was hobbling a little bit, but watch out for the Packers this year. They're still in contention. That first week did not mean nothing. There's still, what are we at, 13? So we still got 14 more games to go, 15 more weeks to go. All I'm going to say with this guy, Josh freaking Allen. What a stud this guy is becoming in the National Football League. He does it all. He throws it well. You know, yeah, he's got Stephon Diggs, but outside of that and Cole Beasley, he does a great job with them, though. I think he makes Cole Beasley look better than what he might actually be, just because he's like Adam Humphries, and that yellow line is always visible in his head, even if it's not really there. And number 5, the Bucs might have taken a big loss right here. Tom Brady still had 432 passing yards, 1 touchdown, and that was the difference in it. The Bucs are going to be just fine. Slow your roll on them. It's almost like condemning the Packers after a big-time loss in Week 1 to the New Orleans Saints. You got any more over there, old school? You want to wait till we get back here from this next break?
No, let's wait.
All right, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. I'm not going to quit telling you about this. How about the Philadelphia Phillies and the Atlanta Braves? We're at the end of the season, and we're in a fight for our lives. Braves got a 2.5-game lead, and at 6:20, you're going to hear the Braves and the Philadelphia Phillies. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is your chance to win cold hard cash. It's the Grand Slam of Cash.
$1,000 in cash. Wow.
2 ways to win this national contest. Listen weekdays at 8:45, 12:45, and 4:45 for a new code word. When you hear it, enter the code word at ESPNPC.com or use the new ESPN Northwest Florida app to play. The Grand Slam of Cash.
My weather forecast overnight, clouds will lower and thicken. Overnight temperature is 65 to 72 and light variable winds. We'll have a south wind developing Wednesday, about 10-12 miles per hour. It'll be in the mid-80s, partly to mostly sunny Wednesday, and the water temperature in the Gulf of Mexico is 82. A weak system coming in Thursday, maybe a shower or stray thunderstorm, partly sunny in the mid to upper 80s. For 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, this is meteorologist Tim Root.
Golf Plus is your premier golf shop on the Gulf Coast. Not a big box or a chain store, but a local store with golf experts to serve you. An amazing array of demo and fitting products, plus a professional repair shop that can handle anything from a basic re-grip to a full set of re-shafts and everything in between. Golf Plus has locations in Dothan and Panama City Beach to serve you. Come see them today for all your golf needs. Located next to Firefly at the shops at Edgewater. Call 850-249-2726.
We know that juicy, cheesy, grilled to perfection burger sounds amazing, but it does sound like something is missing. Pepsi, baby! The yin to this burger's yang. Burgers and Pepsi go together like burgers and Pepsi. This perfect blending of flavors makes every bite of lettuce, every sesame seed on the bun, and every sip of that crisp, refreshing, ice-cold cola a journey to Foodtopia. Burgers, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Is that the sound of an ooey gooey, cheesy, crunchy slice of P-I-Z-Z-A? Obviously. But as good as that sounds, we think it can get even better. Oh yeah, that's the sound of a freshly opened fizz-filled Pepsi. The only thing that can take this flavor medley of crunchy dough, mouth-watering cheese, and savory sauce to the next level. How about another bite? Pepsi and pizza sound like a match made in heaven and taste even better. Pizza, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
When you want a big-time sports show, tune in for the Afternoon Underdogs.
I'm going to send you up against the best.
Weekdays from 4 till 6.
Negative, Ghost Rider.
Live from the Slim Chicken Studio.
The need for speed.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And we're back. And if you want to give us a call and told us what we missed today, 850-215-6290. 850-215-6290. If we missed anything, and there's so much going on in the sports world right now, but you feel like it needs to be heard, give us a holler. Let us know. We are here for you guys, and that is the gist of it, man. And we thank you to all of you guys who ended up playing, beat the Underdogs. Hopefully you guys win, but I doubt it because
we'll wrap it up tomorrow and see.
Oh, yeah. We're going to see.
Oh, by the way, real quick, I want to give a shout-out to Keith. Keith owns All About Garage Doors, and that's all he does is garage doors. So if it's time after a rough summer of up and down, give Keith a call, 850-842-9188. That's 842-9188. Call Keith at All About Garage Doors.
And they got some good specials, too.
Yeah, they have some really good specials going on right now.
So it's worth giving them a call. I mean, there's nothing worse than, you pull up, you're tired, and the garage door doesn't open.
Well, or it goes up about 2 feet and stops.
Yeah. Oh, that's awful.
That means a broken spring.
I mean, what's even worse is if you're not home and your wife goes out to the car and it won't open, and then you got to rush back and get her out. I mean,
get that phone call. I'm stuck in the garage and I can't get out.
I can't get out.
I'm stuck and I can't get out. I love that. Old school, you had a couple more takeaways from college football. Let's get into that real quick.
Yeah, I mean, college football, we were just talking about how exciting the NFL was, but college football, there was some big-time games in that. My first take was Arkansas might very well be, and I apologize to you in advance, David, they might actually turn out to be the favorite to win the West. If things don't go well for Alabama this week over in Mississippi, Arkansas might very well turn out to be the favorite. A&M has already gone down to them.
Yeah.
I think Arkansas is for real, or we're going to find out.
Yeah.
But I think right now they looked really, really solid. My second take is I've watched 4 weeks now of Notre Dame on NBC, and are they ever going to play somebody?
Well, there's a lot of other teams that we can say the exact same thing to is when are they going to play somebody?
Yeah, but with Notre Dame, okay.
Big matchup with Cincinnati this week, though.
Okay, Cincinnati. That's it.
After that, it's almost a wrap. I agree with you.
Think about it.
Wisconsin was a ranked team. Come on, you can't say they haven't played anybody.
23? What were they ranked?
And they'd already lost in it.
They'd already lost?
Kind of
they were
ugly
ranked 17th.
game to Penn State.
17th.
That was an ugly game, though, against Penn State to open the season. But a
Penn
win
State's
is a win.
the real deal now.
I agree.
You can't dismiss that.
Yeah, they might actually. They may actually win the Big Ten.
And the way Ohio State's playing, I'm not saying that it's wide open, but it's more open than what it has been in the last few years.
And then my last one is the preseason for Georgia is now over.
Yes, it is.
And it's starting with those Hogs.
It starts with those Hogs this coming.
You got that right.
And they've had, we thought it was going to be a really tough game.
Yeah.
Starting the season with Clemson, but as it turns out, Clemson is not the Clemson of old.
Right.
And then they've played 3 patty cakes since then. I mean, Vanderbilt. I mean, come on. And now we're going to see.
This is going to be a true test.
We're going to see is Georgia what they think they are and what the press has given them, and. As Kirby better be preaching his sermon about.
This is going to be a true test for Georgia.
We don't practice to win this week. We practice to win them all, and that's his motto. And that motto is going to be tested.
Let's test something else. Michigan Eddie, you're on the air. Go ahead, bro.
Go Blue Sharks here. It's Trevor around 22 back to old school. I can't believe I'm going to do this. This is first ever, but I got to defend Notre Dame.
Oh, come on!
When they scheduled Florida State, they scheduled that when Jimbo Fisher was there when they were relevant. Number one. No, number two, Purdue's an in-state rival. That's a big game, right? To the state of Indiana. You got Purdue and West Lafayette. That's a big game. Usually Purdue comes, no matter how bad they are, that's usually their game of the year, right? Number 3, you can't say Wisconsin's nobody because at the beginning of the season, they were ranked 12.
And they didn't do very well.
But what I'm saying is, no one could predict that Wisconsin's going to be a dumpster fire right now. So, in all honesty, Notre Dame's schedule was looking pretty good, but you can't control that Florida State was just going to go on a death spiral. Same goes for Wisconsin and all that.
But
those are valid points, whole school.
I'm not questioning the validity of his points. My point is the 4 games that they have played this year have not been that the competition has not been impressive at all. I want to see them play somebody.
You're talking about our guy Jeff Brom in Purdue.
My point exactly.
If they held to history, those games would have been valid and worth something. But you can't. You just don't know the uncertainty, and that's why preseason rankings are crazy and below Fruit Loops. They don't mean anything. They don't mean nothing. Look at Clemson.
I agree. I was just saying that, Georgia's win over Clemson has been diminished tremendously.
Those are 2 big teams that played in the last couple of years that he just mentioned in Clemson and Texas A&M. Look how, in a sense, underwhelming they've been this year.
No doubt. But my point is they still, if you go through their overall schedule, after Cincinnati, which is, we think Cincinnati is going to be pretty good, they got USC.
But you can't knock Notre Dame for scheduling a rivalry game like USC just because USC's
they've been playing USC forever. But they're going to play the Naval Academy. Again, it's a long-standing tradition. I understand traditions, but the point is they still haven't played anybody.
Well, here's the thing, too. If Cincinnati comes out and plays in this game against Notre Dame the way they played against
Georgia last year.
No. I'm talking about this year. The way they played against Indiana, it's going to be difficult to dig themselves out of that hole against Notre Dame like they did against Indiana. Mm-hmm. And it could be a long day for Cincinnati, but we'll see.
Well, that's why they play the game.
That's exactly right.
Hey, Michigan Eddie, thanks so much for the call. Hit your outro real quick. We only got a couple of minutes here.
Damn.
That's it.
All right. I love
Good
it.
job,
That's
Michigan
the shortest
Eddie.
outro ever from Michigan Eddie. I enjoyed that call, Michigan.
Well, I reminded Michigan Eddie this morning when he goes into his spiel. It's more. It reminds me of this. Wah 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 wah. The whole Charlie Brown thing. So.
But I love his enthusiasm.
Nah, he's a great guy, man. We razz him because we love him.
I love his enthusiasm.
Real quick before we go, I got to give myself a nightmare. Let's listen to this call by Gus Johnson.
Got it up. And short. Agnew brings it out of the end zone. Agnew still running. Agnew got the sideline. Agnew. Touchdown, Jacksonville.
What a call. He's one of my favorite commentators of all time. Gus Johnson just put so much emotion into the game, and that by Jamal Agnew, 109-yard. We had so much history on Sunday between the 66-yard game-winning field goal from Justin Tucker, almost repeating the Monday Night Football game against the Detroit Lions in the past, but also with this longest touchdown in NFL history. What a job, not only by Gus Johnson, but by the Jaguars to stick in that game against one of the best teams in the NFC West as well, the Arizona Cardinals.
That's one of the great things about watching and listening to sports is to hear the emotion and hear the excitement of the announcers, and they just do such a great job of painting the picture in your mind.
You know who I'm going to miss in calling games is Marv Albert. He's retiring.
Yep.
He had some bumpy roads 20, 30 years ago with some stuff, but man, I'm going to tell you, nobody could call one better, especially an NBA game.
One of the greatest calls of all times in the NBA. A magnificent move. It was just fantastic. For Michael, it was he's one of the best.
Hey, we're going to be wrapping things up here. Thank you for spending your afternoon with the Afternoon Underdogs. 6:20 first pitch, Phillies at the Braves. Y'all make sure you get down to Slim Chickens. Big game this weekend between Auburn and LSU. Coach Hale in the morning at 7.
Go Braves.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Keyshawn Johnson, Jay Williams and Max Kellerman.
Bruce Arians, Super Bowl 55, world champion, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, head coach.
How long did it take you to recover from the Super Bowl celebration?
The first day of training camp.
You was going hard that long?
Oh, baby. That was a hard 30 pounds I had to lose. I had to lose 30 during camp, bro.
GJ and Max.
Weekdays from 5 till 7, ESPN Northwest Florida.
I'm Matt Glover with Aero Pest Service, and we are your family-owned and operated pest control company in Bay County since 1977. Are fire ants destroying the fun in your backyard with your family? Well, guess what? We have a program specifically designed to get rid of fire ants in your lawn. That way you can enjoy your lawn with your family. Give us a call today at Aero Pest Service, 850-874-1900. 850-874-1900.
As a proud graduate of Auburn University, Waylon Thompson is excited to sponsor Auburn football this season. Jay Manuel of Manuel & Thompson hopes that players and fans alike remain injury-free. But if you find yourself injured through no fault of your own, call us at Manuel & Thompson. Helping injured people, that's what they do. Manuel & Thompson, 850-785-5555. Manuel & Thompson, 850-785-5555.
Hi, this is Coach James Hale, here to tell you about the best car wash on the beach. Blue Sky